Welcome back to the channel. By now, you guys are probably wondering what I'm gonna do with this Bentley. I have an answer for it. If you haven't seen the last video, let's go back to that. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. This windshield from the factory is about $6,500.
Oh, shit.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to afford to keep this car. But today, we're gonna go over what the plan is with this Bentley. I have always loved this car. Back in 2005 was the first time I ever seen this. Maybe it was 2006, I can't remember. Fast forward about 10 years, there was a guy, my old job, right here. He let me actually sit in it. Told him, you know, I'll never be able to afford this car. Well, I have it in my garage now, so let's talk about what the plan is. You see, if I was gonna buy all the parts from Bentley, I'd probably be, you know, somewhere in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. I'm not gonna do that. That's something that I'm not interested in doing. And with how many likes, thumbs up, subscribes, I think I know what you guys wanna see too. I'm not ready to give up. Wow, this is really dull played. That scene couldn't have been any worse.
Yes, sir. And how are you this afternoon? Alrighty then.
Sounds broken.
I have been spending a great deal of time looking for the cheapest parts that I can find anywhere. That's why this video is taking so long to come out. I really want to build this car. The only way to build it is to save money. So due to the overwhelming support and love from you guys and the thumbs up and the subscribe, just lets me know that you guys want to see this too. I'm going to repair this as cheap as possible. I want this to be the cheapest Bentley ever built, ever bought. Now, am I gonna accomplish that? Who knows? I'm gonna try. And along the way, I'm gonna let you guys know how much I'm spending and how much it's gonna cost. If you guys remember from the last video, this car was running pretty bad. That didn't sound good. And that is because there is this thing called the secondary air whatever thing. And then we gotta fix this tubing right here that goes around to the secondary air. And I have a plan for that because I don't think that that takes a lot of pressure, and I think that we might be able to fix that with some simple hose. And I'm gonna try to take this end off from here and see if I can make this work. So I don't think you guys understand how difficult this is to do. It is not easy. There is like no room in here. So this keeps breaking all over the car. These little plastic tubes, they're really brittle. So I have a plan. See, that just snapped. See, I took off the end off from that piece that just broke, and the plan is to put it on rubber hose. That should fix all these hoses because they're just so brittle that this one I probably won't replace, but definitely this one, and then the one that goes around there. So let's replace those because, yeah, I don't know why that Bentley put these cheap hoses in here. Basically, that worked pretty good. So now there's this one that goes around through the back there and over here. But in order to get this one, we're gonna have to take this off. Here's a little trick just in case if you're trying to get something plastic into rubber. Take WD-40. This will slide right in. Done. Pretty impressive. Now that we got our $350 Bentley special hose, we can install it in the car. All right, so we have everything hooked up. Now it is time to see if this thing is gonna run. I did reconnect that, so that should be good. Shouldn't be any other leaks that I know of just yet. So now I guess it's time for us to start this again and see, hopefully we just fix all the issues. Well, there's a lot more issues. Sounding a lot better. See what happens when I give it a few reps. Seems a lot smoother. Well, it's not as smoky in here. Doesn't smell that bad. I think it might be fixed. Well, running better at least. Cool. I think we got the motor running pretty good. Now that we know that this thing is running and driving, and at least is driving somewhat good until we clear all the codes, we don't know if there's anything else that might potentially be a problem. But I'm thinking for now, let's start stripping this thing down so that we can go through, see what all is damaged underneath these panels, because if you see right here, this is pushed in, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of damage that's going on behind here. So this might be a crazy idea, but I think that I can actually save this fender. It doesn't look good, but it will save a ton of money if I could. I'm thinking it's possible. If anybody knows what this is made out of, please leave the comments down below. Now we have to get in here, and there's nuts all along in here. It's kind of hard to see. This is probably the best tool ever for this car. You can get into these little tight spots. I'm telling you, get one of these. Best tool to working on any car. Finish taking off this fender. Go get yourself one of these. Now that we have the fender out of the way, we can look at some of this damage. Now, honestly, there really isn't that, it doesn't look that bad at all. This looks bad, but that's because, you know, it got shoved up, but I'm not worried about that right now because we need a new window. That, no big deal. But it looks like that this piece actually, you can remove this and replace it, which that will have to be bent over. And really, that's the only extent of the damage. Nothing down here, nothing structural that comes back to this area. Looks like that it's bent. Everything looks really, really, really good in here, which is a huge relief because, I mean, it looked like that it was just a trashed, pile of if you ask me, but really it's not that bad. I think that we can work with this. If I can order a new one of these, and this right here is also bent, so if I can get a new one of those, but for right now, I'm thinking that's looking really good. And the motor, I'm thinking the reason why the motor looks like that, it's sitting a little sideways, is because I think that it actually shifted on the mounting points, loosening up the subframe and kind of just moving a few things around. Or this could be kind of, see, this doesn't even look like that. It's like really pushing it back at all. So I'm thinking that it just kind of shifted a little bit. We're in good shape here. Now this is gonna have to be replaced. I am gonna end up taking all this off as I bend this back because it's gonna make it easier to get in there. So, yeah. This airbag is like stupid expensive from Bentley. I think it's like $3,500. I ended up finding this in a crazy way and I got it for a really good deal.